Doyle.
Yo.
Doyle.
I'm here.
Doyle.
I am still in California. Woo! Me.
California, here I come.
California knows how to party.
Does it?
We got cake.
Oh.
You know what? You know what I really love about being in California still?
The heat?
I can get really good Mexican food.
Right?
Yeah.
You're not going to get that in Minnesota.
I know. Honestly, I've been abusing it since, I know I'm going to like leave and it's not going to be everywhere.
Yeah.
But because I'm like on a health kick and I've been eating so much healthier, like I'm really going to like triple down when I move.
Yeah.
So all my cheat meals are Mexican right now. That sounded weird.
And sushi, because we have it fresh here.
No, I'm not a big fish eater.
Why?
It never did it for me. I was not a fan of fish. I like catfish.
Oh, catfish is good.
Yeah, especially
Louisiana style.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, now you're making me want to go back. Jeez, okay. You're going to Minnesota, right?
Yes.
Is that near Minneapolis?
Yes.
Okay. I've got something here that I want to share with you.
Okay.
This is a rough estimate. This is the salary you need to buy a home in all 50 states.
Oh, crap.
Okay. So in order to buy a median home, like, average priced in Minneapolis,
Okay.
you need an annual salary, which is not that bad. Don't get scared. 101.9. 101.9.
Oh.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Do you know how much it is here in California? In Los Angeles, to be exact.
If I'm guessing, I'm going to say 450,000.
No, not really. 207. This is just for a median.
Wow.
This is just for a median. For me, it's going to be more like 300-400 because I have a large family. There's 6 of us.
Mm-hmm.
The more rooms you add, the higher the amount needed for the annual salary. So 207. I don't make nowhere near that, bastard. San Diego, it's 241. Sacramento, 139. So it's less.
Wow.
And then, guess how much in San Francisco?
800,000.
336. You're way off on these numbers.
Close enough.
Yeah, dude, these numbers are crazy.
But that's it. Okay. But the houses themselves cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then you have to factor in the expenses of owning the home. And then you have to calculate the cost of living. If you make 120 to 250 a year, and then your living expenses, like your rent and everything, is so much higher, then those figures are bullcrap.
Yeah.
Because
no, they are bullcrap. Usually those things are usually like, oh, this is the going rate. First of all, that's probably based on like a 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom place that, it sells for $389. That they only found like 2 of them on Redfin, and they're like, okay, that's good enough. You keep write that in,
Yeah, and it's only one. It's only the house.
Yeah,
it doesn't count gas,
land,
or car,
utilities,
kids,
taxes,
kids.
Yeah,
none of it.
None of it. Oh, there's a toxic wasteland in the background. Oh well, who cares? That's normal. That's average.
Right?
No
yard.
No.
That's the reason I'm moving. Thank you for reminding me.
You know what? Yeah.
Just when I start to forget, that's the reason.
Although I hate the fact that I have to clean my yard and it's really overdue. It's like messed up right now.
Mm-hmm.
I rather have a yard. I really do need a yard. My yard's not big. It's like 300 square feet, but it's something, right?
It is something. I wish there were places that I lived that had a yard, because there were times where I wanted to like have a picnic in the yard, or I wanted to have company over and like go eat outside. It was such a perfect day. Sometimes during the summer it's nice out and you just don't want to be inside because it can be mucky and miserable when you have a lot of bodies and the AC's not super strong. Yeah. Our AC will cool off our house and it will make it bearable. But if there's like 10 people, it's better to be outside.
Yeah. Plus, it's just better to be outside when so many people, when there's a lot of people indoors. Come on.
Yeah, leave your mess outside.
The trash is right there. You got to pee? Use the corner.
Yeah. There's a tree.
There's a tree right there.
Tree fitty.
So, how's the job hunt going?
Job hunt's not bad. I recently just put some stuff out there and it's coming back promising already. So I feel like it's just a matter of time before I find something. There's so much work out there. So much.
Has the missus started looking or acclimated? Or
she was actually working on it today as we speak. She was at home working on some things around the house. We had a bunch of stuff that we had to do. We had to like sell a car. We got to sell our fridge. Like, you know, obviously you want to sell your fridge like right before you move because then you don't have a fridge. So, you know,
it's called a cooler.
Yeah, we're trying to set it up right now. So, we're slowly but surely progressing.
Right.
And we're on track. We're on target. Like we said the end of July, like the beginning of August. So, you know, like within the next, I would say within the next 3 weeks is like the official
deadlines.
Yeah. And because I intend to take some time off before I start my new job, I want to take like if we leave a week later, but like I'm not working kind of thing, I'll be comfortable with that. So
as long as you guys have saving enough for the month.
For sure.
Mortgage, but the rent.
Yeah. I'm excited because for the first time in my life, I've been working, and for the last like 10 years, I really haven't been doing anything. I don't. Up until recently, I bought like a couple games, and I've been playing games a little bit. But for the most part, I don't have any collector's hobbies. I don't do anything. I don't have any expensive hobbies. I've like kind of cut a lot of stuff out of my life. And then we don't really go out. If we do go out, we take people to dinner or something like that, and that can be pricey just because it's so expensive to go out. But
my God, get me started.
Yeah.
Can't even go to McDonald's anymore.
Forget it. You know what's crazy to me? You spend that much money and the food's still that unhealthy,
right?
Like if it was at least like, okay, you're spending money and you're getting decent quality food. No, it'd be like, all right, I kind of get it. You know,
if it was organic, I'd be like, all right, decent.
Yeah,
but it's shit. It makes you feel like crap after eating. It sucks, dude. And then like I haven't been eating junk food in a while, hence why the weight loss and shit. But like the kids every once in a while still want something, and if I take my family to McDonald's or any equivalent of McDonald's,
let me guess, 200, 100, 150,
like 80, 90.
Yeah,
it's a lot of money for everybody.
Yeah.
If we go to somewhere, say In-N-Out, where everything's fresh and done, there,
and it's cheaper,
dude, it's like $40.
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude? Maybe 50 if we like start getting milkshakes and shit, dude. But it's crazy. It's fucking crazy, dude. And then also like, okay, you're gonna spend so much money at McDonald's. It's not even a dine-in experience. It's not fancy. It's fucking everything's rubber and steel because it's easier to clean up vomit that way. There's a bum in the corner that's like, give me money,
Yeah.
Like, dude, no. And then dining out,
plastic hard seats,
smelling like puke.
Yeah,
gum everywhere. Those annoying teenagers in the corner.
Haven't mopped the floor in like 6 weeks.
Or they did mop the floor, but it's still very sticky for some odd reason.
And why are you using Fabulosa?
Fabulosa?
Yeah. Not that I have a thing against Fabulosa, but I would just assume that McDonald's could afford some different kind of cleaning products.
It's McDonald's. I doubt they can afford anything. They don't even change the oil on the fries, dude.
That's true. That is disgusting.
Yeah.
And you know what? I've learned to like... I take everything with a grain of salt. Like
especially the fries.
I watch a lot of stuff on the internet, and I have learned that you can't trust anything these days. So like I save things that are interesting that like make sense. Like if I'm looking at it and I go, I saw a video the other day. Japan has its first hover bike.
What?
Yeah. And it was a report done by the BBC. So I'm kind of taking that to kind of be fact because the BBC doesn't kind of go for the bull crap. It's not like a conspiracy video on YouTube. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. Because I've always wanted a bike for Mega Man X. I don't know why. There have been multiple times where I've had dreams where I had a wish. And for whatever reason, in the wish, I was wishing for a hover bike, the same hover bike from Mega Man X, because that bike is amazing.
Mega Man X, I love that fucking. The first two, I didn't play the rest.
The first two,
and I own it too.
The first two the story from the first one is so good that it makes you sit on the edge of your seat through the second one. And then when you get through the second one, you go, wow, that was still pretty good. And then when you get to the third one, you go, are you guys going to do something new? And you're looking for this experience because you get to play with Zero for the first time. And you're like, oh my God, Zero. And that's what drives you. But the story doesn't they had cutscenes and moments in the first one that made you feel like it was something special. The first two actually had cutscenes where like Zero showed up and he saved you in the first one. That moment is still iconic to me. Like, I was not expecting that. First of all, I didn't know it was another Mega Man. So when Zero shows up and I can't remember what his name is, Vile, I think, the purple.
I don't remember.
Okay, so
Proton?
No. Okay, so in the beginning of Mega Man X, you play through the first level, the opening level, and you're like, okay, this is like every other Mega Man game. And then you get to the end, and this purple like robot shows up, but then he jumps in this robot. And now you have to fight the robot, and the robot has like twice as much life as Vile does. So you've already taken damage from the small guy, and now you got to fight the robot, and the robot like dashes forward and punches you, and it's really hard to avoid him. If somehow you're able to avoid him, there is this stupid little cannon that once his life gets halfway down, he starts shooting these little balls. Once your life gets below a certain threshold, he stops punching and he starts shooting these little balls. And what the ball does is it freezes you in place and you get stuck. And then Vile comes over and grabs you and picks you up. And you're like, oh crap, what am I going to do? And right when Vile has you in his arm, you see a blast come in from off the screen, and it shoots Vile, the robot, in the arm, and the arm falls off, and Mega Man jumps backwards, and then in dashes Zero, and that's his intro.
Oh shit!
And that is one of the most iconic moments in all of video games. And
I used to have the little models that you built of those that were articulated. I used to have those. Fuck, those are badass.
The thing about it is, and I don't want to kill it for anyone who hasn't played Mega Man X1, but
spoiler alert of a 30-plus-year-old game. Go ahead.
Okay, spoiler alert. At the end of the first game, so you end up going to the end of the game, and then you have to fight Vile again. And this time you're fighting the robot, and as you're fighting the robot, you think the same thing is going to happen. And so you're kind of prepared for it, and you try to like protect yourself from it. And so you eventually will get hit, and the same thing happens. So now Vile has you again in his hands, and then in jumps Zero. And Zero jumps on his back and charges up and blows himself up, and it blows up the robotic suit. And now at this point, you got all the hidden items that you've been stealing from the robots throughout the game, and so you can now defeat Vile, and it's like very rewarding. And so as Zero is laying there dying his last breath after he was like this cool hero who saved you, you run over to him, and he gives you his arm, and his arm allows you to charge even further. I love that game.
Stupid idiot.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
There was also a Mega Man 64, which was that Mega Man Legends, or is that something?
Yeah, I didn't like that game.
I never got into those. Mine was up to X, Mega Man X.
Yeah.
And anything after that, like what is it, Battle Grid NT or something?
Never played Battle Grid.
None of those.
All the X's were dope.
Yeah, the originals and the X's for me. Anything after that, not interested.
In the later X's, they were dope because one of the selling points of the first Mega Man X game was the fact that he was, if you go around each level, there's a secret platform or spot where Dr. Light hid these capsules, and if you get inside the capsules, it'll upgrade your armor. So you could upgrade your chest plate, your arms, you could upgrade your legs, you could upgrade your helmet, and your helmet, if you upgraded it, it would like actually tell you where the secrets were in the level, and it would find hidden items for you. So that was pretty cool. And the thing about it is, so that kind of started a trend that hadn't been in Mega Man games before. And basically what the trend was that you could upgrade your armor. And so each Mega Man game after that started to include these new armors. And I think it was in Mega Man X4, he got like this Falcon armor that basically made you invincible. That armor was dope. Like it was all blue with like gold trim. And then after that, like they just went crazy with armor. So now it's a thing for Mega Man to get like 6 or 7 armors in his games.
So now I can say hasta la vista, Mr. Falcon?
Hasta la vista, Sigma. And what was it? Marvel versus Capcom? where
there's rumors there's a new one coming out.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a fourth.
Yeah, and it's gonna be something to do with the multiverse.
Dude, I've been like one of the things I do. I don't play every game. I wish list in my Steam, but I have so many games that look incredible. They look fun, at least in the trailer. I don't know how they're gonna be like in like a long play out, but there's so much good stuff coming. Soon. I saw this game called Precinct, and you basically play as a cop, but you're in like a Gotham City.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and you're trying to like deal with all the crime. You get to fly the helicopter, drive the car.
That's one thing, like Grand Theft Auto. That's what I wanted, that element where you could be a good person instead of just a bad person. I wanted to be a cop. I wanted to be like a fireman. I wanted to own a business.
That is why Grand Theft Auto 3 is still so incredible, because that game mode, you could get in a cop car and you could go on vigilante missions, and you could chase down these vigilantes, and if you crashed their car, they would get out of their car and they would run. And I thought it would be dope, like, he's on foot, like suspect in pursuit, and like just chasing them down, and you have the option to apprehend them non-lethally if you tase them, and they should totally do that. And they did not have anything remotely like similar to that in GTA 5. That's what was missing
on the that's the latest one, right? The only thing I like is that it looks like LA. It feels like LA.
Yeah,
you're going to areas like, I know where that's at. But and then the thing that I did not like is when you would like go into a convenience store to like pick them up. How come I couldn't like buy a convenience store and just like run it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, fixed prices. I want this as inventory.
Welcome to my store. How may I help you? Thank you.
That's the next one, dude. Convenience store simulator.
That would be so sick.
That would be the next one,
dude. They have drug dealer simulator now. Yes. They have police.
Bullshit.
They have police simulator and drug dealer simulator. So if you can't have convenience stores, you know what? There at like 12 o'clock, there should be a crazy person that comes in every night. And you have to deal with that. They either throw
name her Barbara.
Barb.
You know why? I remember in the pharmacy when we met back in Big A Drugs, rest in peace. Do you remember Barbara? There was a Barbara.
There's always a Barbara.
There was a lady who would come in, whacked out of her mind, and she would start reorganizing aisles.
Nope.
She had small, short, curly hair, and then you would be like, Barbara, stop. And then she'd turn around and she'd be like, what are these made for? What do you do with these? And then you'd answer her and she's not listening to you.
And she's moving it.
And she's still moving it. And you're like, Barbara, stop. So every single time she fucking came in, she would have me redo a fucking aisle, like every single time.
She's resisting arrest.
I know. She needed to get tased, not you.
Tased.
Tase her instead of you.
Oh man, those were the days. The good old pharmacy days. Like I remember those big glass like doors with the drinks inside.
Oh, the freezer, the walk-in freezer. Yeah, that's pretty good stuff. Speaking of crime, though, can I steal your bit for a minute?
Yes.
All right. Breaking news. I'm doing this for Doyle because Doyle is leaving. I've got a story here about a gunman that mugs a woman before asking her out on Facebook. His quote was, "You was too pretty to rob." Okay? A creep allegedly robbed an Indianapolis woman at gunpoint and forced her to befriend him on Facebook, where he later messaged her and asked her to come chill. Amber Bureau said that she was getting her mail one night in May when a man, later identified as Damien Boyce, approached her and pulled out a gun. Amber said she refused to let Boyce enter her home after he demanded her to instead hand over all her cash, which was about $100. But the money wasn't enough for Boyce, who then allegedly asked for her if she had a boyfriend and demanded she connect with him on Facebook. I thought if maybe I added him on Facebook, he would leave me, and he did, she told him. After the robbery, Amber said she immediately got messages from Boyce with the gunman hitting on his victim. "Damn, you was too pretty to rob," Boyce wrote, with another message claiming that he would pay her back.
Okay.
And here's a text message real quick. "Look, just so you know, I'm going to pay you back. It's a fucked up way to meet, but Dick, you was too pretty to rob."
Break yourself. Give me your number.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy because that's the DM. Like, hey, I got a gun. You better give me them digits or what's up.
Bite me, bitch.
That's good stuff.
So what's the implication then?
Hey, you're here.
So what's the implication then? Like only ugly people get robbed? I mean, like, are we setting up like a tier here of who gets robbed and who doesn't?
Not,
'Cause shit, I've
not
been
really.
robbed
This
before.
girl was so attractive, he felt bad about his crime.
See, my question still
I
stands.
disagree.
That's a very confusing
Enrique,
thing.
Doyle disagrees.
I'm just saying. See,
There's someone for everyone.
So here's the thing: the flannel shirt is a very concealing thing of her silhouette. I want to see how far. Look, I'm gonna say it, man. That chick looked like she might be fat, and you know what? No fatties, bro.
look, I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, whoa, okay. Now you closed up on it. Oh yeah, never mind. She
She's-
needs to be robbed like twice over.
Look,
Wow.
I'm not hating on this girl. She's like a 7, and
A 7. A
Six.
7.
6.
Well, okay, well, no, hold on. Work out your scale. What's a 7? Let's do this. A 1, you ain't even gonna like you nothing.
1 through 5, leave me be.
1 through 5, leave me be.
Yeah.
Okay, and 6.
The 6 is like, you're a little bit above average.
A kegger will do.
Okay, girl. No, see, that's the 1 through 5. The 1 through 5 will get you with the beer, a few beers. And
No. If it's a 4, I can't remember this.
bro, like, you know this. You remember your drinking days, like, you know, like alcohol, like.
That's why he stopped drinking.
Yeah.
Good. But I'm just saying that alcohol, like, exponentially changes the hotness factor of people.
Yeah, it drops down 2.
Too.
Yeah.
No. Whoa.
When does it drop down?
Have you watched Beer
Actually,
Fest?
actually, no. It's true. Sometimes when you're drunk, you do see someone. You're like, they're not attractive anymore. That's happened to me a few times.
That's actually just when they turn on the lights at the end of the bar. Do you remember?
right.
In the morning? I've literally been there when the lights went on, and I'm like, oh shit.
Look,
You know what's funny? For those incidents are like, remember when on Ren and Stimpy they would do those close up shots real quick of like something really nasty with the flies.
Yes,
So
exactly. Where do you think those came from? Yep.
He turned on the lights and that's exactly where you saw Ren with no teeth.
see, I wouldn't ever date below a 6, but you know, like alcohol will make you go to a 4. But the reason why I said never anything less than a 4 is because the reason they get a 4 is what am I doing this for? That's how I put it on the scale. So,
Oh, that's snappy and it rhymes.
yeah.
What am I doing this for? Yeah, I can dance to that one.
True.
When I'm in my sober mind, I go, "What did I do that for?" And then you know that's how.
For
I
the
did.
nookie. What? The nookie. I'm sorry.
Okay, so hold on. First, okay, so yes, I'm here. I'm late. Woo! I'm here.
Wait. This is totally not a segue, but a segue. So, Enrique, in one of the last episodes, you totally said something that Angel just reminded me of, and I was going to bring this up, and now I have to.
All right, do it.
You said Fred Durst totally owns the Limp Bizkit thing.
It seems like he did because he went from like completely not talking about it about 12 years ago, 13 years ago to like kind of dipping his toes in like the jokes. Like, do you remember the commercial he did? I don't know if it was a Super Bowl commercial where, you know, he's walking across the street and a lady's listening to one of his songs and she looks at him and he looks at her, and when the song comes on, then he's doing the dance. I remember it was a
Like he's trying to get recognized or something
like that. And then later on, well, more recently now, he's done shows where he doesn't dress like he used to, but he does all the songs again, and he's with Wes Borland, the guitarist, and it seems like they've kind of like embraced it. But that one scene that I talked about was somebody had thrown a red cap, right? Because that's what he was known for. So they threw the red cap into the stage. No cap, yeah, no cap. He picks up the red cap as he's singing his song, and he's like, it's almost like he has it in his hand and he's like singing to the cap, and this almost like feels like a cathartic moment.
It's
where
almost
he's like
a Hamlet
singing to his
moment.
band. It kind of is.
Yeah.
You know, that's exactly that's the vibe I got from it.
Like his
I know,
old.
I knew ye Horatio.
Exactly.
like it
Something
was
like
a different persona that was about to come back to life if he put this cap on.
Yeah, you know, like he's so like a soliloquy, a note to the past. I don't know. Maybe I'm over philosophizing it, but it felt like it was kind of a poignant, kind of cool moment.
That's fair.
So much so that it went viral. Like,
Yeah.
people were posting that clip for a while.
All right, now I gotta find it.
But is he rejecting it? I mean, what's going on? Is
No, I think he's saying that's behind him. Not rejection, but more like that's the past. This is now. I think it's alas, poor Fred Durst. I knew him, Horatio.
Well, then that clip totally validates that. I feel like, well, I mean, like owns the Limp Bizkit thing. I think I'm saying that he owns it, meaning that he's no longer saying that he's embarrassed by it, acting like it didn't happen. Because for the longest time, Limp Bizkit were like Creed, right? Yeah, there it is.
All
Great,
right, perfect.
Limp Bizkit was very much like Creed. Everyone was just like, or Nickelback. They were just clowning on them. They were like the joke of the new, what is it, the new rock or new way or new metal. I forget what they were like the complete joke of it, but I think they've since gotten recognition for it. People remember it. You would even say that they respect it. I mean, they have a lot of nostalgia for it. And so he then embraced the music again, started playing it. But I could see him saying like, but that persona's behind me. But he still very much cashes in on the music and the sound.
The music, yeah.
You know, when he was like at the height of his, fame,
he banged Britney Spears.
he was
Did he?
a douchebag.
Dang.
Yeah.
At that time, because she ain't hot now, but when she was hot then. By the way, she would be a 7.
Britney's a 7?
Yeah,
Right
and
now?
so compared to Homegirl that we just saw on that page, she's not a 7. That girl's like a 5.
Okay, wait. Oh, okay. I mean,
I'll
I'm
never
not.
hear it.
I'm not gonna fight you guys on that because that's fair. But I mean, Britney's like she's
Right now, I think she's a 7. Right now.
Okay, now I would give her a 7.
Right now, a 7.
She's a
Back in her
7?
days, she was like an 8 or a 9.
Oh,
Yeah.
she was like a top tier 9, dude. She was very attractive.
Yeah.
And
She was
listen,
very
ladies,
attractive.
if you're listening, you probably are undervaluing yourself. So a lot of you out there, don't feel bad because we rated Britney Spears high. It's Britney freaking Spears. Come on now.
And don't hate us for rating. Come on, I'm a 2. It's fine.
Dude, I shouldn't even be allowed to rate, but here I am doing it. But
It doesn't matter. It's everybody, opinion. Everybody rates.
Look, everybody
rates.
It's just a few people are honest about it. That's all. That's the truth. Everybody has a preference. There's going to be 7s on somebody's list that are 4s on other people's lists. But, whatever.
Well, that one was a 9 for that thief.
Hey, that dude, maybe he just got out. You know what I'm saying? There's a different, the drunk in the club and just got out are similar standards. That's all I'm saying. You go from chon chon to
Some.
give me that ton.
he wants a dim sum.
Dim sum.
So how you been, Enrique?
I mean, all right.
I know you were stuck in traffic.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, you were across town. No, thank you for coming. It's cool.
No, thank you for inviting me. I mean, I feel
This
like
is your show, dude. Thank you for inviting me to my own show. That's great.
Thank you for inviting me to my show. No, for real. Like, my kid's been with me all summer, which has been awesome. Today was the first day of my vacation from summer school. So I have about a week and 4 days off
Before you go back to
Yeah.
regular.
And so every Monday and every Thursday, though, I've been doing tutoring with him from 2 to 4 because he lives in Mexico like 7 or 8 months out of the year. And he needs to learn Spanish, and they're very strict about math.
He still
and
doesn't know
reading.
Spanish?
Well, he does. He can speak it now, but it's very conversational. He's still not academic, mind you. He's 8 years old. He's on the road for it, and so right now we're working on numbers. We're working on vowels and reading, and it's a little tough. So we were working from 2 to 4. And it went a little bit longer. We got done maybe closer to like 4:20. And then right then I just got up when Doyle asked me, "Hey, do you want a Monster?" At that point I was already leaving out the door, but then traffic was crazy.
Yeah, I could bet.
But life's been good, man. I'm I'm still not out of sync yet. Usually during the summers, that depression comes in where my routines go away. And just recently was pointed out, I have a friend who's very who's a very they themselves go through depression, stuff like that, but they have a much more kind of like take ownership of things attitude. And so so whenever I find myself complaining about that, I remember some of the words that my friend says, and it helps me sort of put myself back in perspective. I mean, yes, I go through those kind of moments of depression where I don't have the routine, but then I kind of try to find other things to power through it. So right now I'm good, but we'll see what I am next week. Next week I'll probably be sleeping until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it'll be a mess. Well, hopefully not though.
Well-deserved rest, my friend.
I am what I am.
Thank you.
We were discussing his move 2 weeks. give or
Yes,
take.
we keep on talking about it like it was going to happen, and here we are, like 3 episodes later from when you announced it. What, 3 or
3.
Yeah, this will be the 3rd episode.
I tried to get it pushed to get aired later, but
Well,
it is what it is. Guys, I'm still here.
you're still here.
Squid Squad.
Doyle's wearing a shirt that says "Butt First."
But first,
At least the way it's all crinkly, "Butt First." And now there we go, hot dish.
That's some people's
Wait,
sexual
what's the shirt?
philosophy.
It's very confusing. Butt first, comma, hot dish. What does it
wow.
even mean?
You know what's funny? I glanced at it and I seriously thought it said, but first, church. That's seriously what I saw. I did not see hot dish. Again, my eyes are really bad lately. My glaucoma's acting up, by the way. But
Your glaucoma.
no, I have the beginning. I have the beginning of
Are
glaucoma.
you trying to get a medical card? Is this like how you put it out there? Like my glaucoma's acting up.
Doyle.
Can I get a medical card for like losing my hearing?
Yeah.
Oh man,
I'm going to be honest.
Wait, you don't need a medical card in California anymore, dude.
I know.
You just go and give them money. There you go.
That's how long it's been since
It's
I smoked.
recreational now, dude.
I don't partake anymore in the devil's lettuce, but back when I used to, you had to go. I was one of those people who went down to Venice and had an excuse and got my prescription from a legal doctor, and then I was able to go to the
Sir, why are you here? I have AIDS. Here's your card.
not even I get headaches.
You went really extreme there. That's
Yeah.
like, sir, you have AIDS. Here's your card.
Here's your
Like,
card.
You could have just said,
That's that's what it's gonna say on the card. AIDS.
Everyone has AIDS. Hemorrhoids.
Mine
Here's your card.
I gotta have AIDS.
I was like, I get headaches if I don't have marijuana.
Were you winking at the doctor each time you said it? I had headaches. Wink, wink,
As
wink.
I handed him a 20,
wink.
yes. It was $40. It was $40. You walk in, you tell them why you need marijuana, and then they write you a prescription, and then you can use your prescription to go into any dispensary and buy medical grade marijuana, which was at the time better than what's on the street.
It's funny to me though. Like, growing up, I did not partake in any of that, but all my friends did, and it was so annoying to have them always being, "Hey, dude, you know what you should try? You should try weed." Like,
It's
every
from the
5
earth.
seconds, dude.
It's
You ever
natural.
You ever tried on weed?
Oh.
All the time, dude. It would happen all the time. And then since I suffer from migraines, they'd be like, "You know what? Get rid of that weed."
Yeah.
It's like, dude, stop. If I wanted weed, I would have taken it a long time ago. I didn't want to. Now, after my car accident and all that, I do take gummies once in a while for the pain. And I'm like, okay, you know what you should
understand.
try? Weed.
Yeah. You know what? Half Baked is like, I know it's meant to be a comedy, but there's nothing funny about it. It's
No,
all true.
It's all biographical.
Especially when the horse dies.
Yeah. Butternut.
Yeah,
I love
potheads are dumb.
butternut.
Potheads are dumb enough to do something like that.
Yeah, potheads are fucking stupid, dude.
They'll give a diabetic
I've known so
horse
many potheads,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh man.
I was, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. My IQ probably was like a good 20 points.
No, I knew you when you were in your pot face. You were not that bad.
It's not so much that your IQ is lower, that you're not intelligent. It's that you're not really using all your brain cells.
You're not using it
Because you're
correctly.
chill. You're as chill can be, and sometimes that means moving too slow or thinking too slow. But that's why they say don't kill my high. Because if you make me think like a normal person has to think, that I'll be stressed, I'll be anxious, I'll be mad, I'll be depressed. Like, I don't want to be none of that. So I'm gonna smoke this joint, and obviously I don't advocate it now because I actually found a better way.
So I've never really would have called myself a pothead because I don't partake, not really. I think I've tried it enough times to say that I've done it, but usually I don't really feel the effects of it. I think maybe once I can honestly say I really felt. Oh, twice. Remember the gummy story I told you guys about for my birthday some years back, and then there's one time when we were like having a bonfire in the backyard, and one of our friends had like a big old bag of the stems, like the dried up stems, and they just threw it into the fire. And so everybody just got it. It might as well have been like a Native American kind of like thing where like all of
Powwow.
A hot house?
A hot house, exactly.
We have a powwow.
It was pretty gnarly.
Now who's Isaiah?
Well, yeah, exactly. Just give me a flute and let's talk about polyamory, and we'll
Did you
just
say a flute?
Yeah, give me. Well, doesn't he? Wait, sorry, your podcast hasn't come out yet, right?
No,
Okay,
no.
see, nobody gets that reference yet.
But that is the most pretentious thing for like a hippie / new ager to have, is a flute.
Well, didn't you see the like Angel's clip when he showed us like some of the pre-production stuff? There's this whole clip of like him just sitting there with a big old wooden flute.
Oh
just
my
playing
God, he's full of hot air. All right.
Man, we love you, Isaiah. We're just fucking with you, bro.
Oh my goodness,
we're just fucking with you, man. You got to come back on the show.
The
so
only
we can talk
thing
shit
worse
to you.
than a flute is a tambourine. If you're sitting in a circle and someone has a tambourine, I'm gonna keep going.
I'm gonna see myself
Oh
out.
shit! That I haven't told you the story when I bought a tambourine because I was learning how to play guitar, and I had this idea that if I bought a tambourine, that somebody would pick it up and play while I'm playing guitar. Like I mean, I had nobody really specific in mind. It was just a dream, right?
And you say it's
And that's how you
just a
started the
dream.
band.
Well, I was gonna say the only time I've ever like really just not regret. I don't know if the word is regret, but I certainly feel like a sense of like I'm missing out about weed is whenever I'm at a rock show and everyone just starts like smoking. You can tell because you can smell it. And I'm thinking like, man, these people must be enjoying the show on a way, way different level than me. Well, anyways, I was at the Mac DeMarco show last
Thursday.
week. Yeah, last week,
Thursday,
right?
yeah.
And actually, dude, great show. I really wish you could have come, but I knew it was in the time. And what happened was, like, I had checked in with Angel a little bit later than I should have. I mean, literally on the day of, and then I kind of felt at that point that I didn't want to go to it. And so instead, I was going to give him the tickets. And hey, you can have him. Take your son. And he's like, no, it's it's better you go. So I ended up going, and I'm glad I did. By the way, it was a good show. Did you see all the? Because I post. I saw. I always post like 20, like with the first 15-20 seconds of every song from any. Just it's just for me to like go back and know what songs were played that night of that show. I've been doing that for years now. Like I have all of the different shows I've gone to. And then, dude, like it was such a great show, but he's such a very low kind of level energy kind of guy. Like the Greek theater's huge, right? I mean, it's huge, and there's like, and it was sold out, so there's a lot of energy. But yet his music is like, dude, it's so low key. So my friend who went with me, she was like, wow, this is like music for people with broken hearts. I'm like, yeah, kind of. And yet here comes out you can smell all the smoke and you can smell all the weed and people are just getting high. And I'm thinking like, fuck, these people are enjoying this show on a way different level than me.
The patchouli wasn't here.
It's a thing though. Like the crazy part about like me being a social person, I was kind of like not cool and didn't really have the type of social skills.
What you mean was?
And when I started smoking, I just became a completely different person. Like I started fitting in like anybody's circle because I'm like, hey, you want to hit this, or vice versa. Like I'd stand next to somebody who was smoking a joint, they'd be like, hey, you want to hit this? I'd be like, sure. And then now I got friends, and so like it was weird because at concerts, I started meeting people at concerts because of like craziest story. We go to Coachella and we took like a pre-rolled. We had like a couple pre-rolls. We had snuck in a flask or two, and we went inside Coachella. And Coachella's freaking huge, you guys. It's like it's not even fun to go. It's like too big. If you don't have a golf cart, like screw that. That's too much walking.
Well, it also depends on the years that you went. When did you go?
I want to say like 2014.
Okay, so already then it was kind of a show that I wasn't necessarily like the shows that I would have gone to. I went 2006 through about 2009.
Oh, it was epic then.
It was great. This was like the first time that I went was when they first started doing the 2 nights. And then the other 2 times that I went is when they started doing the 2 weekends. And you could buy a ticket per night. You didn't have to buy the whole thing. You could buy the whole thing for a nice discount, but you can pick your nights. And dude, this was when, like, I mean, I've said this before on air, like all the different acts I saw, Daft Punk and 9 Inch Nails and The Faint and just Arcade Fire and Phoenix, just the Bravery, just great bands. This was
Phoenix is awesome.
Yeah, it was this. They are, dude. And remember, I don't know if you know that I saw them a few months back.
Yeah, I saw.
Deck. Amazing,
yeah.
Well, anyways, my point is that how big the show is. I agree with you. It's huge, but
thank you.
Shut up. The show, the show is big. Like all the different stages, the way they're spread out, and they would have like the food areas and and then they had the art installations because primarily it was kind of an art thing as well. And so, like if you planned out your time well, you were fine. But I think as the shows later on got less interesting. They really kind of like try to include everybody, but in doing so, they make it like kind of boring because you have one stage that's devoted to like a lot of hip hop, and then you have another one that may have a few like indie, rock groups. And even though all these huge audiences go for this big ticket person, like say Kanye West, they're not going to go to all the small little stages to go see all these other acts. And I imagine that creates like a big bottleneck of people, and it just makes the place feel way bigger.
And you miss stuff. You feel cheated because when I went, I got in for free. My friend worked on a food truck, and so what he said is, get on the truck, and we're gonna sneak you in like you work here. Cool. And so we drove up, and then when the food truck got there, which was like maybe like 5 minutes after we pulled in, we all jumped on the truck, and then we rolled in. And then we jumped off the truck. We got free food. And then because my buddy got me in for free, we were like, all right, where are we going to go first? And so I was like buying drinks and stuff like that. And we had like these joints that were pre-rolled, but they were like in these like little containers, like perfectly sealed. And so we're walking around from venue to venue, but we're missing stuff. And I feel like we were spending so much time walking around that we were missing stuff that would have been cool to see because they didn't time it out to where you could enjoy. Like you couldn't say like this is a schedule, and then you're going to see all these acts on A schedule and this is B schedule and you're going to see all these acts on B schedule. So when this stage lets out on A schedule, then go to this stage for the next act. They don't do that. It's just kind of like you get to where you can to enjoy it. And so we were kind of like waiting on not the main act, but there was a show right before it. I think it was like Joyner Lucas or something like that. I can't remember who it was. And we were waiting to go to that show, but we had done so much walking and we realized how far away we were that we were like, we're not going to make it. Like, screw it. Let's just stay here. And we stayed where we were at. And so crazy story, right? We're standing at the stage and we're just like, well, I don't know who's coming up next. Oh, some hip hop guy from Compton, whatever. And so they bring out this artist. And the artist comes out and he's like doing his show. He has a couple songs and me and all my friends are like, do you know who this guy is? And all of us are like, no, not really. And then he's like, give it up for my special guest, Dr. Dre. And then we were like two aisles away from the front of the stage. So seeing Dr. Dre up that close was kind of like, oh my God, like this is crazy. Okay, now this is dope. And then immediately we all start patting ourselves down like, where's the joint? Where's the joint? We gotta smoke. It's Dr. Dre, we gotta smoke. And we realized somewhere we had dropped it. And so we didn't have a joint. And we were like, this is awful. And then I turn around and I look behind me and there's this guy and he has this big old blunt in his hand. And I'm like, oh man, we lost ours. And he goes, hey, you want to hit this? And I'm like, all right, bet. So then now he's started a circle with me and my friends, and Dr. Dre is like, oh, look at who's there and look at their smoking. That's what I'm talking about, the chronic. And then he's like, light it up if you got to light it up. And so we're in this circle while Dr. Dre's performing and we're smoking. And then the guy said something that freaked all of us out, and it kind of made us all paranoid for the rest of the night.
Take out your wieners.
No, he goes,
now slap it against her face.
He goes, you guys want some cocaine? Oh. And we were like, no, I'm good. He goes, I got some Molly too, but I crumbled some up in a blunt earlier, and no. We were like, oh,
what you mean earlier?
He's like, if
like another day, right?
He's like, if you guys do Molly, you got to pay me for it. And we were just like, oh shoot, did we just smoke Molly? And like, thank the Lord we did it. We really did it. But like,
well, how would you have known? And would he was going to charge you guys for it for unwillingly taking Molly? That seems like that's
a bait and switch, dude.
That's a bait and switch, man.
That's a bad drug dealer. Bad drug dealer.
You should report him to the Food and Drug Administration.
First one's free. That's how you get a customer.
Sounds like he would get a bad Yelp review.
Yeah. Well, if I had a weird trip, all of a sudden, like Dr. Dre starts like hovering above me.
Dr. Dre turns into like one of those like flapping like balloons from the car dealership.
Wacky wobbly man.
Yeah, there you go.
Like I'm looking him in his eye, and then all of a sudden I see a lowrider just come and pick him up, and he drives off.
Dude, you know what? Then you would have to pay for that kind of trip because that sounds pretty epic.
Yeah, that would have made the trip a little bit more gnarly.
Molly.
It'd be a little more gnarly. Marley.
Freudian slip there. Jeez.
No, I as weird as like that particular day was a lot of fun, but I am gonna be honest. I'm so glad I don't live like to get inebriated no more. Like to live in a world like where you can't function unless you're high. And that was the thing for me is like me and all my friends, like you have to wake up and go for the head change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's very handcuffing. And when I stopped smoking, those first couple of days of sobriety sucked. They like you get weed headaches, like you're stressed out, your anxiety levels go up,
Your anger.
yeah, everything is because everything feels like you're detoxing, and that's what you are doing. You're detoxing, and it's a weird feeling because you're not really prepared for the chemical imbalances in your body. And then when you start to get free of those chemicals, I remember the first time I went running after smoking for all those years, I felt like my lungs were going to explode. I literally had to lay down on the ground for like 10 minutes because my lungs were so bad and so out of shape. And I was like, if I had to run for my life, I wouldn't have made it. Like,
Damn.
you know, if there was an active shooter, I wouldn't have made it because I couldn't run. And you don't realize that until you really like try to get clean and try to get sober. So I'm glad I don't have that kind of stuff in my life anymore.
Right on. Your friends, the ones that actually did partake, when you quit, very professional there, Enrique. Oops. When you quit, did they like talk shit to you or like,
of course
hold it against you?
My friends are jerks, all of them.
As he looks at me, the fuck?
Stop looking at me.
That's exactly the hardest part of quitting was that all my friends, all my circle was, and I quit drinking and smoking at the same time. So like my sobriety was like a full sobriety. At first it was like a light, dabble into sobriety where I was like, I'm just not going to smoke tonight. I'll drink. And then eventually that got old and I just completely had given up both. And I was like, nah, I'm good. But I still wanted to see my friends because my friends are still good people. So I would go and see them.
Yeah.
They're a-holes, but they're
Allegedly.
good people. Yeah.
They're your a-holes.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
So
But they're
I
my
would go
assholes.
around them and they'd be like, here, you want to hit this? And I'd be like, nah, I'm good. And they'd be like, what is wrong with you? You don't drink, you don't smoke. You're like, what's wrong? And I'm like, why does it offend you that I'm sober?
Okay, so
Because it makes them feel bad about themselves.
on a maybe unrelated note, I think that we should like popularize or what did the kids say? We should make natural the idea of adding ambiguity into our conversation. So we should say things like allegedly whenever we're talking about
Stupid.
like allegedly.
Don't worry, there's a statute of limitation on all my behavior and actions.
Normalize. That's the word I was looking for. We got to normalize that shit. We
gotta normalize.
And my friends, allegedly. But
I allegedly snuck into Coachella.
exactly. Doyle allegedly got in for free and had a Molly trip at Coachella.
Allegedly. A Molly trip.
Yeah, that, like I said, it's what happened, and I always like acknowledge the life I've lived because you got to know where you came from, and if you walk around and act like you're like better than people because you don't do that stuff anymore, then like what kind of pompous jerk are you?
Stop looking at me.
Stop looking at you.
Don't look at me, little
Don't
puppy.
look at me.
Give me some chong chong.
Give me some chong. You missed it. I was playing off the air. I was playing them a sneak peek at our Latin film intro
We have a Latin film intro.
for the Latin movie, Latin exploitation movie episode.
We're just gonna play clips of Angel.
Yeah.
When are we doing this set thing?
I don't know. I haven't decided yet. We'll see.
Well, I'm excited. I want to hear it.
I need a fourth for that one.
A fourth?
Fourth.
Like a fourth, like
Speaking of which,
a fourth of what?
we need a fourth guest member here. Since George is no longer with us.
Did he die?
No, he just fell off the earth again.
Well, we're gonna need a third
fell
and a
off the
fourth
earth.
because Doyle's gonna be like incommunicado for like a
Incommunicado?
few weeks or months or I don't know how long that's.
Yeah, hence why we need someone. So, guys, if anyone's interested,
Send in your resume to the Discord.
no, email
And you better be funny.
at the Discord. No, send us an email at info@ouchcast.com. That is
We're being serious, by the way.
@ouchcast.com. We seriously do looking for more people to come here, show us your habits.
You want to come unpaid intern?
Oh, you're not going to get paid. You're not going to get famous.
I mean, hell, we ain't getting paid.
Wait,
and
you're going to make as much as I do.
Which is nothing.
Which is nothing. And hell, negative.
I was about to say I'm in the negative. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Nothing. Because negatives is negative a lot.
something.
We've been funding this like not Molly trip for how many years now?
Oh, suck you. What?
I said, how long have we been like funding this not Molly trip?
2017.
That's why if you're listening, go to www.ouchcast.com and go buy a t-shirt. Help!
Or buy a mug. If you don't want to buy a t-shirt, buy a mug. Drink out of it. Shit happens.
I'm not saying that there's Molly at the bottom of the mug, but there might be Molly at the bottom of the mug. No promises.
Kiss, kiss, Molly's lips. Kiss, kiss, Molly's lips. I love that song. You ever heard it? Nirvana? Actually, who did they cover for that song?
I'm not too sure.
Yeah, but that was a great cover.
I know what song you're talking
David Grohl?
about.
No,
Kurt
so
Cobain.
Their album
That's all I know.
Bleach,
Just
great album,
Chris
but a
Novacek.
lot of the songs on that album are covers from
yeah.
some
Wait,
of their.
they have an album named Bleach?
They do.
It came out before.
That sounds horrible. It sounds
That's a
like
great fucking album.
It's a great
like
fucking
they were
album.
trying to cover up a crime or something.
I think that's
What they did was mainstream a lot of these indie punk bands. Like the people wouldn't have known outside of their little circles of music. And because of
I'd play
them
it.
covering
Courtney
them.
Love would be after us.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
In all fairness, that's what you're supposed to do when you're at the top. You're supposed to make a bunch of nobodies. If you get to the top and you only elevate yourself, you're a tool.
But that came out before their first big hit.
You know, there's
Or never mind.
Still, that's what I'm saying. Even like on your way up, you're supposed to take as many people as you can with you. And if you do a good job of it, you will define a genre. And I think there was a time where there were a lot of people who used to do that. And then now, like, it's kind of a lost art and everybody's in it for themselves. And it sucks.
That's interesting because Skilo, you know, the guy who did that song, I wish I was a baller. I wish I was taller. He did a song called Top of the Stairs, specifically about that topic. It's a great song from the same album. It's one of his underrated songs from that. I mean, Skilo like should have been top tier, but you know, anyways. So he actually has like a line in one of the songs where he says that he says when you know, like when you're going to the top of the stairs, you know, you're at the top, but be careful how you treat the people as you go up, because those people are the ones who can be in your way as you're coming back down.
That's a fact.
And so-
a lot of one-hit wonders find that out the hard way.
Yeah.
They blow up and think my next song is going to be the greatest thing, and then it's crap. And then, you know, they kind of crap on everybody on their way up, and so they think that they're such hot commodities that now the people that made them, that they worked with, you know, producers, etc., everybody, they just don't recreate the magic, and then they don't get any help from anybody else, and so you're stuck going to Vegas and touring. I'm Britney Spears.
Hey.
Okay, we were talking about Britney, and I just felt like throwing her name back out there.
So what did I miss at the beginning of this show? Where are we on? What trip are we on?
We talked about Mega Man. We talked about mortgages.
Mega Man and mortgages. That's weird.
Mega Man has a mortgage?
That is a very, very weird.
That's a bleak future.
Have you seen the people wearing the Mega Man style shoes? Those became popular for a while.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
The red boot kind of looking thing.
Oh, yeah.
What is up with that?
You know what?
That's some jackassery is what that is, man.
I'm going to be honest.
You
Those
don't-
shoes are cooler now that that you've made them
Bruh.
like connected to Mega Man.
Well, now they connected to Mega Man. Yeah, they're cool. But you know what? I will only allow it if they're wearing the fucking Mega Man helmet.
Yes. Yes.
Or the proton shooter. Otherwise,
it's
get the fuck
missing.
out of here.
You need the arm thing. You need one full
Proton
arm
cannon,
thing,
yeah.
The blaster.
and you need a helmet, and then the boots are cool. But if you don't got all three, then miss me.
It's so stupid. Like, I mean, all right, just for the audience out there, like, so basically they're these like comic booky like red boots that I've seen primarily a lot of hip hop you know, fans wearing, and you know, they're like in the corner looking all raggedy with all their other clothes, except they have the red boots that are like super cartoony. They look like just jackasses, and the thing is they're not wearing it ironically. They're like fully invested. It's almost like the guys with the purses, man. You know, like, I'm sorry, bro, but you have a man purse. You're wearing
I wear
a purse. Oh no! Have you seen the guys with the Versace bags and?
Oh no! Mine's a satchel purse, like a messenger, like a.
No, a messenger bag is not a purse. Messenger bag is a messenger.
I call it a purse because
I'm talking
holds my shit.
Full on, like thin strap, little handbag. Dude, they're purses, and the dudes are wearing them. I've seen like some of the thugs at my school wearing that, and I just want to clown on them so hard. But they really believe that they're cool. And hey, whatever, man. Someone told them that it's fine to do that, but they look like jackasses. Jackasses.
As Doyle started to put his underneath, hiding it.
Hide your purse, bro.
Hide your purse.
Hide your wife. Hide your children. Hide your purse. They're taking everybody out here.
Maybe this actually will make them a little bit cooler. It is a company called Mischief, and the boots are actually inspired by Astro Boy.
Oh,
so that's where they
Astro
come from.
Boy is inspired Mega Man, so
yeah,
it's a circle. It's a straight line.
You did it. I didn't have to do it.
You didn't have to do it, my friend. Although you will at some point.
There it is.
It's a circle.
I still think they look like a comic or cartoon. So
that's stupid.
We need to make a shirt that says that, man. It's a circle, and then it's a straight line.
It's a circle and just have a straight line for the flat earth.
Nice. Can we put a picture of George like looking over the earth?
No, but you know what? We should make T-shirts like missing with a picture of George. That's what we should do.
Missing. Have you seen him?
Have you seen me?
With
a milk carton?
Yeah, a milk carton.
Have you seen me? My friend Mark went missing for a while, and I made one of those. I made a milk carton like that.
I mean, he like legit went missing?
No, he just like he went off on a thing, and he never checked in with any of us.
On a
So
thing,
we're like,
other thing.
Got it.
That's fucking funny.
That's usually when my friendships end. When you disappear and just no one can get a hold of you and talk to you, friendship over.
They're like
Friendship
dead,
over.
like 6 feet in the ground, and you're talking shit. They're
like,
dead to me. He's like, no, they're dead to everybody, bro.
If there's a legit reason after I've been chasing you down for 6 months trying to find you. Hey man, let's go to the movies. How you been? How's your mom? Blah 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 blah. 6 months later, you're just like, oh, I'm good. Screw you.
Fucking bullshit.
Yeah, like I don't know if I want to be your friend no more. I done called you 100 times in these 6 months and you'd never answered or replied to a text message. Forget you. Yeah, friendship over.
Friendship done.
Have you ever?
So is that what you told George? Or?
No, he calls me every once in a while.
Oh, he knows that. That's why he's like, "Fuck, I gotta check in."
Yeah, it's because over the years, like so many people, like the word flake is for someone who still shows up, but like they just don't show up when you want them to. The word like turncoat or traitor or
Benedict?
Like you just like, what if I was dying and sick or hurt or something and needed you and like you just didn't answer for 6 months? Like that's pretty foul. I don't have time for
hurtful
things like that. Like I mean, okay, I don't think too highly of myself, right? But at the same time, I don't think that everybody deserves access to my life. And the reason I've developed that philosophy is because I used to try to be nice to everybody, and after a certain point, like people would just, they would take advantage of your niceness, or they got away with whatever they could, and then you just get tired of being used. And I still choose to be nice to everybody, and I still want to be nice to everybody, but because everybody doesn't deserve me to be nice to them, everybody deserves to be, to have people be nice to them, just not me. Like I don't have to go out of my way to be nice to people who are jerks and who take advantage of me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, one time I went out with my friends, and a friend of mine from back in the day was like poor and didn't have money. And
why are you
like,
looking at me?
Instead of just saying like, hey, I ain't got it, like, can you spot me? When we got there, he waited until the bill came after he ordered all the food, and then was like, hey brother, by the way, can you loan me a couple bucks? And I was like,
I knew those kind of guys.
yeah, but like I said, if you come to me before before you order and you're like, hey, I don't got it, like I feel kind of bad, like can I borrow? That's totally fine. But if you come to me after you've ordered $60 worth of food, and then you tell me and you're like, hey, can you spot? Well, why would you? What if I don't got the $60 to loan you?
That's irrelevant.
especially if you do it more than once.
Yeah, there used to be this guy we called Dragon because he had dragon breath.
I thought he was dragging you down.
Well, that too. The first time, my brother told me, "Hey man, when you go out with Dragon, make sure he pays for his own shit, right? Don't spot him." And I forgot about that. Because we were working together, and we went to lunch, and he literally goes, "Hey bro, I got you on the next one. You get this one." Like, this is the first time we meet, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, I told him, "Hi dude, I don't got enough." He's like, "Oh no, that's cool." Then dude comes out and whips out a fucking wad of fucking 20s, dude. He had the cash. He's just that kind of tightwad.
Yeah.
And that's what my brother says. He goes, "Oh no, the dude, he lives in his parents' house they left it to him. He it's paid off, right? So he has nothing. And this habit that he has is he'll work for months, save every penny as much as he can, and then he quits for a long time, and then just lives off of whatever savings he has."
Well, shit, man, he should go to a dentist, take care of that dragon problem.
Well, I think that's I think that's why he had the dragon breath, because he also didn't use toothpaste.
No shit.
It was not.
Well, it's
expensive.
not. You got to floss too. I mean, I think that's like people out there. If you like I've had this problem where I have like gaps in my teeth. Man, fuck, just just floss. Food gets stuck in there. If you may not know, but if your shit smells bad and you don't know it, or people are like giving you like a look, just go floss a little bit, and then rinse, and you'll be fine.
And repeat.
You also need to scrape your tongue. So
Yeah.
Well, yes, that's for sure. But I'm going to tell you what, that like 90% of it actually is flossing.
It's your tongue. Your tongue is actually what creates the odor.
Well, what happens is, okay, let me just say this. Okay, food gets stuck back here, and you can't tell that it's in there, and it's been sitting there for a week. It's gonna smell like shit.
Yeah, sure.
And more people, I can guarantee you that more people floss less than they do.
That's fair.
And that's what I'm saying.
So what Enrique is saying is pick it and eat it.
Like a gerbil.
Everyone does that shit, man.
Later on. That was
If
3 days
you
ago.
say you don't pick the food in your teeth and eat it, you're a liar. It's already in your mouth. Don't lie.
Yeah, don't lie.
Don't lie.
That's some lying.
I'm eating yesterday's breakfast
Liars.
right now. Oh, give me a second.
It's like a cow.
Well, that's what you got a beard for, bro. I mean, that's a food storage unit.
That's a flavor saver, dude.
Flavor saver.
Nice.
Which I trimmed really short because it got hot. So
Taste the booger flavor.
Can I use my platform for a moment to talk shit about the Acolyte, Star Wars Acolyte? I finished watching it.
I did too. So go ahead.
I have not
I'm probably-
seen it,
I'm-
and you may spoil the crap out of it.
They spoiled it themselves, bro.
I think so.
I'm probably right there with you. Go.
Let me just say, you know what? I mean, moving forward, because we're a show and we should be able to talk about shit. If you in the show don't watch it, then just then you're screwed. Because I want to talk about shit.
Yeah, spoiler event is over. Go
And,
ahead.
in general, like I'm gonna give you guys, like, put it this way: Deadpool and Wolverine. Okay, I'm gonna go watch it this week. I'm gonna give you guys like 2 to 3 weeks to watch, and if you guys haven't, I'm spoiling the shit out of it at some point.
Someone already spoiled the shitload, sent me
Give 'em-
screen caps and everything of the fuck.
But I'm
give
just
them a
using
month.
that as an example.
For something like that, give them a month because people are poor these days.
Yeah.
Nah, it's all right. All right, a month, but that's it. That's it. Because man, I'm like, there's so many shows that I've watched over the 2 years that we've been doing this podcast, and we can't talk about because you guys over there are saying, I haven't watched it. Well, fuck you for not watching
Well, look,
it.
first of all,
Skip to it. Get on with it.
A lot of our Squid Squad may be poor.
Squad.
And if they are poor, there's no shade against you.
No, not
poor
you,
people.
yeah.
But
They're all poor.
I'm
None of
talking
them buy
shit about
t-shirts.
Doyle and Angel here who don't
No,
watch
that's cheap.
crap.
Oh, my bad.
I'm saying that some of our Squid Squad may come from, humble beginnings, and they may still be in the beginning of whatever it is that has them. We may be their therapy, and we may be helping them through these hard times. They might have just smoked a joint because their lights are off and they lit a candle, and now they're listening to us. And we say, thank you, Squid Squad. But if you have the desire to go and watch these movies and films, I suggest that you make sure you listen very carefully to this show, because if we're going to give a spoiler alert, then it's coming.
And spoiler alert, I think I need to floss. I just feel like some food in my mouth right now. Fuck, man. Don't come near me. I'm about to become dragon.
So
I'm dragging these balls around. All right, so Acolyte.
Acolytes, yeah, because we're
So
running out of time.
okay, I'm not going to get into much detail. I mean, I just want to say that, like, I've been defending some of the Star Wars shows. I did like Mandalorian. I did not hate Boba Fett, but I understand why people don't like it, so I'm cool with that.
It's a slow burn.
Andor's a great show, so I'm glad people like that one. I loved Ahsoka. I did, but I recognized the flaws. One of it is that it really just is Star Wars Rebels continuation. I wouldn't even call them flaws. I would just say that Ahsoka is a payoff to the people who loved Star Wars Rebels, which not everybody watched. So some of the characters that you're supposed to care about, I did. You won't care about them if you haven't watched Rebels, and I get that. That you'd be like, why do I care about these characters?
Gotcha.
But it's a good show. I liked Ahsoka, and it was great to see. Like, I understand that Ahsoka is at a point in her life where she's already lived through the Clone Wars. She's been on the run, fighting. And some of the some of the background material. You've seen that she still, even though she did not want to be a Jedi, she still had to tap into the Force. So she's now at a point where she realizes that while she may not be a Jedi, she's still responsible for being a Force wielder. And that responsibility, it helps her rise above it. And so the way that she's portrayed by Rosario Dawson is a more samurai-esque kind of. I just really like that portrayal, but I get that people are gonna be like, nah, that's not true to her character. Whatever. Anyway, it's a good show. Dude, Acolyte, though, man, what a missed opportunity. 100 years in the past from the Phantom Menace. It's in a time where potentially, you have Darth Tenebrous, who is the master of Darth Plagueis. You have like really rich source material. The only problem is this. Here's the problem. While you have the Jedis who are like at the top of their force, right? They should be a force for good. There should be like, you should be able to see them why they had the power, but then you should start seeing cracks in their in how they were wielding that power, so that when it falls apart, by the time you reach the Phantom Menace, it makes sense, right? They kind of became disconnected because in my opinion, the narrative of the Phantom Menace is that you have Qui-Gon Jinn, right, played by Liam Neeson, who is supposed to be the epitome of what a Jedi should have become. Somebody who is not afraid to have some attachments, who is a little bit more connected to people, but still very much respects the Force. He's a good person. And then you have Obi-Wan Kenobi, who really wants to be like the way the Jedis are supposed to be, unconnected, unfeeling, because he's resistant to wanting to teach Anakin, but at the same time he's way too emotional. He's a flawed individual. It's the reason why ultimately Obi-Wan fails. I think in the 3 movies he fails, and then he sort of redeems himself in between the third movie and then A New Hope, where he ends up meeting his fate, which is when Darth Vader takes him out. He becomes a Force ghost, blah blah blah. Okay. Anyways, so now we go back 100 years before, and we should be able to see the Jedi being this kind of Force, but instead we get a very fractured Jedi who were making very bad decisions. They're essentially a bunch of Jedi are being killed by somebody who's clearly a Sith. Right, but there should be no Sith, because there's a line in Phantom Menace where I forget what one of the guys says on the Jedi Council. This is on the movie. He says, "A Sith? We haven't seen the Sith have been extinct for millennia. I mean, that's like what, 1,000 years? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that same guy, something Mundi, I think is what the character's name is.
Cal
Mundi.
Mundi.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, anyways,
with a big head.
So he shows up. He shows up in Acolyte.
Which took me a minute to realize it was the same character, because I'm like, maybe it's another species.
So they not only had to change his birthday on the Wikipedia because it was kind of like the canon said he was a different age. Whatever, yeah. I'm fine with that. That part doesn't bug me.
That bugs me.
No, it doesn't bug me because I think it's such a low kind of hanging fruit to pick. The real problem, though, is that he literally said the Sith have been extinct for 1,000 years, and now he's there in the midst of all of this potential obvious Sith person who's just killed a bunch of Jedi. And you're going to tell me that in 100 years he forgot that event? I mean, at that point, what that tells me, Angel, is that the person who was writing this really genuinely did not care about that.
1,000%.
Now, it's one thing. Let's say that you care about your character and you decide, but I really want him 100 years from now. I would be fine with you changing his birthday, but make it make sense. Instead, they just put him in there and they really absolutely fucked with the idea that he didn't know. They basically made him complicit in this conspiracy, because that's really what Acolyte is, guys. It's a conspiracy that there's a group of Jedis who end up dying because they made some bad decisions against these Force witches, and then and they keep it hidden from not only the Senate but also from the Jedi High Council. Okay, but these are supposed to be like some of the top tier Jedis who are making these bad decisions, and that would be a cool story if it was done differently. But instead they inject all the modern politics. You have like these two twins who are clearly meant to be not just a divergence in the Force, but they were, because remember, a divergence in the Force is that they were created out of nowhere. Like the way Anakin was. Because remember, Anakin was a virgin birth or whatever. Well,
the midichlorians made them.
Now, here's the last thing I'll say about it. In this story, they introduce Darth Plagueis.
I saw.
Okay. Now, Darth Plagueis, the interesting thing about Darth Plagueis the Wise is that story that's told in Revenge of the Sith, the third of the prequel trilogies.
Darth Sidious.
Yes, sir.
Sidious.
He is called the Wise because he learned how to use the Force to create life. That's what Palpatine told Anakin, and it's the reason why Anakin decided to turn to the dark side in order to keep Padme from dying and losing the people he loves. Right? Because he lost his mom, and he's clearly afraid of losing. That's Anakin's kind of plight. Well, Darth Plagueis, instead of learning this thing on his own, the implication is that he's skulking in a cave. By the way, it's really creepy. Looking at this twin along with Darth Smiley, and he's basically ripping off this idea of a divergence. He didn't learn it on his own. He stole this idea, therefore reducing this great character from the tragedy of Darth Plagueis and turning him into some creepy guy who is like plagiarizing from like a Force switch. They just completely wasted. They blew their wad on what could have been a great character in a great series, and they just fumbled it. It's bad.
There's another one that really bugged me.
Sure.
You're right on every single one you said. First of all, I didn't know that was Darth Plagueis. I had to look it up, but I know who he is, and I was like, oh, okay,
that's Darth Plagueis. Yeah.
The end. Yoda. That pissed me off. Because you know why? Because you're telling me there's a big galactic world and everything it's a circle. Everything is right there to the fucking pinpoint. Yeah. No, dude. I want a story that has nothing to do with the Skywalkers. I want a story that has nothing to do with Yoda or any of this other shit. Just fucking give me something.
So I haven't seen the show, so I'm not really going to comment.
I'll counterpoint you in a bit, but I want to hear Doyle.
I'm not going to comment on the show per se, but I'm going to comment on the overall storytelling. It just sounds like everything is too on the nose. Like, instead of Darth Plagueis being like this character that is evil but does something good and like learns this skill that just makes him different and unique and different from all the Sith where they had the Sith War, it turns him into like he had this nefarious way of getting this skill, and it's because he's a bad guy. You know what I mean? It's too on the nose. There is no moral dilemma that like this character developed this because maybe he had loss in his family, and he doesn't want to be consumed by the darkness, and so he's trying to learn what he's trying to learn. It just sounds like everything is just pinpoint accurate, and honestly, that comment about why does everything have to do with the Skywalker or Yoda or whatever, I 1000% agree with that, because it takes all of these different Jedis from all these different bloodlines and all these different things and takes their uniqueness and their special, it's special to be a Jedi and to be able to use the Force, but now it's only special if you're a Kenobi or a Yoda or and it just gets lame after a while.
Which is why I kind of like The Last Jedi when they said that Rey's parents were nobody. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Like, it could have been, that was a great approach. And then, oh no, we lied. It's actually Palpatine.
So I'm let me just say, because I want to counterpoint what you say, because I can respect your opinion on that, and I think there could be some good storylines. I think the problem with Star Wars has been that they completely have shit on the fact that Skywalker was a special character. Remember, we talked about this on our past show where I talked into the tragedy of Anakin Skywalker. I feel like that really is the crux of the first 6 movies. I mean, clearly it is, right? It's, Anakin, being taken from his mom, learning the Force, falling in love, but, being brought up with a competing ideology, one where he wants to be a powerful person, but on the other hand, he doesn't want to lose people, and this dogmatic priesthood of the Jedi, not allowing him to have those emotions. And by then they just pretty much created the perfect opportunity to turn him to the dark side, because in all honesty, he should not have turned to the dark side. So then he does, and his son redeems him, and blah 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 blah. Now the reason why I think the last 3 movies failed was because they completely fumbled the idea of the Skywalkers. They tried to by introducing Kylo Ren and having him covet his father, Darth Vader's the dark side. I really feel like they should have been more involved in that. Grandfather. Thank you. I really wanted for I want the connections to the Skywalker now. But that being said, Acolyte. It's a perfect opportunity to have created the Jedi and showed us why we should still believe in them. But instead, they turned the Jedi into a stand-in for any government group that we have now, and to be suspicious of them, because essentially the Jedi are the bad guys. They're the bad guys because of bureaucracy, because of ideology, and because of the fact that they're willing to do this conspiracy. And then the number one thing, introducing Yoda, basically says that somehow he wasn't able to feel all these people dying, because a lot of Jedi die in the show, and they're killed by a guy who clearly is a fallen Jedi who's turned to the dark side, and Yoda cannot feel that. And this is at a time when supposedly they were at the height of peace. There was no conflict other than like your little conflicts around the different planets keeping the Senate going. But yet Yoda couldn't feel when they died. He could not. That's stupid.
Yeah.
That is a dumb thing, and I hate that. They totally failed.
3 closing points to wrap this up. Number 1, Star Wars needs a continuity expert who is in charge of
Pablo Hidalgo, and he is in there, but he's been there since he's been there since the 90s, hasn't he?
He should be fired, because there's so many things that they've messed up.
I think they nerfed him is what happens.
Number 2 is if you're going to do a Star Wars saga of any kind, you just got to be original and don't be afraid to take chances. Stop tying everything into if you chew on the nose, then you're not creating new merchandise, and we need new merchandise, not the same old crap.
Okay, so look at the one who created Acolyte. Actually, she was given that mandate and she fucked up.
Yep.
That point that you're making is reason why this is a mess.
And I got another point to make. The Sith don't all have to have fucking helmets. Come on.
Yeah, I think people were calling him Smilo Ren because the helmet of the guy in the Acolyte, he looks like he has a metal smile. Yeah. And so they call him Smilo Ren.
It looked like somebody out of Bleach. That anime. That's what it
love the actor who played that guy.
Oh, I love Manny Jacinto.
He's great.
Manny Jacinto.
I love his character.
Yeah.
Absent of everything else, he's a cool character, but he just shouldn't be in the Acolyte. And on top of it, all the stuff that he has, that helmet, it's made from a material that's in canon from other shows that are supposed to be resistant to lightsaber blast, and so that's the reason why he wears it.
Also force resistant as well.
There you go, force resistant, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Point number 3.
Fucking Magneto, that's what it is.
Obi-Wan is the epitome of a Jedi, right? And I think he symbolizes their ideology 1000%. And then there was a time in culture where all of a sudden they said the Jedi were actually the bad guys, and that was to me the downfall of Star Wars. And ever since then they've been retconning things and screwing things up and trying to switch everything. Because I like what you said in your analysis about the Jedi being part of the bureaucracy, but the Jedi are actually more of a separate religion. They're not part of the bureaucracy. They're like a tool of the bureaucracy, and not everybody's a part of it. And so when they turned them into the bad guys, they started to politicize being good and saying what's good and having beliefs in something external that was beyond yourself. And that, I think, is where Star Wars took a turn for the worse. But
yeah. Oh, man, I really wish I could counterpoint you, because I have one, but I think we're out of time.
We are. So if you have any feedback, any comments, you could always reach us at area code 925-421-6824. That is area code 925-421-OUCH.
Especially for this conversation, all you Star Wars nerds, jump on the Discord and tell us why we're wrong.
Or you could just not. Enrique?
Jedi, we're not the bad guys.
Yeah, we are. And remember, never make eye contact while eating a banana. Good night, everybody.
Feels pretty good.